I've got to get this uploaded to the Teachable thingamajig. Here we go. Come over here, do this. Okay, here we go. And now, all right. Going to the curriculum, session 1, watch. Okay, now it looks like I need to go here. That's the right way to do that. Take this away, boom, save it. And now take the code from YouTube, but I don't want to hear myself. Here we go. And then share with the embed, boom, copy. God, technology is awesome. Technology, you're just awesome, technology. I just love you. I'm not saying I'm good at it, but I am saying technology, what you let us do, so good. All right, let me take a look and see if I have it uploaded the right way. I do. Uh-oh. I kind of made a mistake. I'm going to fix it. Because why not fix it, right? Why not fix it? Here we go. Copy. No, I think actually I should cut, right? Boom. Okay, save. And then paste that here in the center. Ooh, it's so big. Okay, now I'm actually ready to get started. Sorry about that delay, but I think it's just a necessary I was gonna say it's a necessary ego, but it's a necessary evil because even though technology is great, it certainly is not perfect, at least not from the way I'm doing it. There's probably a better way. Okay, let me just double check and make sure that I am all good here. And it is all good. So I can close this down and close that down and come over here and say, hello, hi, my name is Crystalline Bell, and this is Planting Your Prosperity Garden, Level 1 Spiritual Life Coach Training. Boom, I'm excited. So I am a spiritual life coach, and I have a program where I certify men and women in becoming spiritual life coaches. So that is a 10-month program that I've developed over the last several years, and it's been years that it's been in the works. But what I've done is created this little program to help people who are very new to spiritual life coaching, and for people who aren't sure about whether or not they want to be spiritual life coaches. So what we're going to be doing today, this is a 3-day web series. So I'm going to be meeting here at 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I'm going to be teaching you about like what you need to do to launch your own spiritual life coaching business. And I'm basically going to cover everything I talk about in 10 months. I'm going to cover it all in 3 days, and not even in 3 days, 90 minutes each day. So this is going to be, we're going to work for an hour and a half or until I'm finished. It might be a little shorter than that today because it's less technical today, a little bit more kind of understanding what's going on inside today. But tomorrow and the next day, we're going to be working on like how to build a website, how to present yourself, how to build your image, how to get your story, how to get your programs down, how to get your service menu established, how to set up your social network, how to do advertisements, how to do your strategy, how to set up a blog, what kind of writing to do. We have a lot to cover. So don't worry though, because I do this all the time. And yeah, it's going to be fun presenting it to you. And I hope it's helpful for you. The whole reason I'm doing this is because I know that there are so many people out there who want to be spiritual life coaches. And the problem is that this is not a traditional, it's not a traditional career. But again, that's actually not true because I think spiritual life coaching is really old. It's what we've done for one another. When you are distressed or when you have a problem, you go to your parents, you go to someone who is outside of you, who can look at you and say, hey, girl, you need to see this from a different perspective, right? That's the job of the spiritual life coach. And, traditionally, this is the kind of thing that's done by your religious leaders, your churches, your pastors. And I don't want to give you the impression that I am in any way religious. I'm not. But this is the kind of thing I do want to talk to you about. Spiritual life coaching is about spirituality. You can do spiritual life coaching and it can complement every single religion that's there. So you can use this as a supplement to your Christianity or as a supplement to your Hinduism. And all we do as spiritual life coaches is remind you constantly and hold you accountable to a higher understanding of yourself beyond the three-dimensional limitations. It's like Morpheus in the movie The Matrix. Morpheus's job was to hold Neo accountable to the one, no matter what happened, no matter what they saw, no matter what Neo was told, no matter what Neo believed. In the Matrix, Morpheus was like, hey, he's the one. Something would go wrong. And Morpheus is like, he's the one, right? Like, yeah, that was a challenge, but you're the one, right? Yeah, that was deep, but you're the one. So that's what we do as spiritual life coaches. We hold people accountable to their divine light within. So here's where it gets to be a little bit different, okay? And this is where people run into conflict. And we're going to talk about conflicts in depth a little bit later today. But what happens as a spiritual life coach is we have a feeling of love and a desire to help, to be of service. Okay, that's us as the coach. We feel this, right? But sometimes those feelings of love are contrary to what we've been told by religion or by science or by any kind of thinking that is rational and wed to the three-dimensional world. It takes so much courage to make the decision to be a spiritual life coach because you have to go against everything that everybody else is saying. Okay. My friends come from a various diverse backgrounds. Some of them are very religious. Some of them are very scientific, doctors, researchers who are all they do their work based on empirical evidence. They want facts, they want proof, and nothing is good enough unless you can show evidence and have proof. Okay. Spiritual life coaching requires tremendous faith and seeing beyond. As I'm saying this, I'm like, y'all gonna think I'm crazy. But it requires that you see beyond the three-dimensional hard senses, the five senses. You have to move beyond the five senses. You, as the coach, have to do that for yourself. And then you have to hold space for other people to do that as well. So this is why being a spiritual life coach is really, really challenging, because when the world is showing you, telling you no, science is telling you no, religion is telling you no, you have to say, I am that I am, and I trust that the experience I'm having and the messages that I'm getting from my inner wisdom are true and applicable to this situation. True and applicable to this situation. This is really important because sometimes people will come to you and say things that are really hard, really hard. Like they'll say, well, how do you account for unconditional love when a child only lives to 1 year old? And you have to, in the face of that kind of pain, right? The pain you feel because maybe you've lost a child, the pain that that person feels because maybe they've lost a child. That's why they're coming with so much anger and frustration, because they've had tremendous loss. You have to sit here and hold to the truth of unconditional love and trust in what you cannot see. Trust beyond the three-dimensional world. This is why making the decision to become a spiritual life coach is really fucking badass. Because you have to have compassion for the person who's in pain. And they can be coming at you with so much of that pain. And because you're saying something that is aggravating that pain, you are bearing the brunt of it. Yeah. And still, you need that compassion because they deserve that compassion. Your job is to hold space for their healing and for their correct vision. Now, when I say correct, I don't mean that my vision is better than your vision or their vision. I mean that I have a spiritual philosophy that I have nurtured and developed. And when a person comes to me as wanting coaching from me, they are coming because they have heard my spiritual philosophy and it resonates with them. It has a feeling, a ring of truth. It feels real to them. So when I'm making videos, writing my blog, making posts on Facebook and Instagram, creating programs, and people are taking my programs, the reason they're there and they keep coming back is because I'm saying something that resonates with them. And maybe they've also, seen some of my videos where I'm living a certain lifestyle. I travel a lot and I'm very independent. And I kind of do things that people are kind of like, wow, that's really cool that you did that. And that inspires people, right? So they're coming to understand, they want to know why I can do those things and feel comfortable, and why when I've been in danger, because I share that too. When I'm in danger, I share, oh, I'm in danger here and this is how I'm getting out of it, or this is how I got out of it. This is what happened, girl. You won't believe what happened. And then this happened. And then like, oh my God, this is what I did to get out of it, right? When they see that, these things will inspire them to want to know how they can gain what I have, whether it be courage or confidence, vision, things like that, right? So your spiritual philosophy is the thing that calls people into you, and it's the thing that as a spiritual life coach you share. So when a person comes to you, it's usually because spirit led them to you. And even when they're angry, why do children get abused? Why would somebody hurt a puppy? You know, these are things that hurt us and break our hearts. They're coming to us because Spirit has led them to us. Like Neo, again in the Matrix, following the white rabbit. They followed the white rabbit, and here they are before you, Morpheus. They're standing before you. So what are you going to do with this lovely being who is coming to you in pain? And spirits led them to you. You got something that they need. You have something that they can offer. Yeah. That's the work of a spiritual life coach. And this is why it's such a tremendous responsibility. Now, I have to make sure, I'm going to just pause one moment and I'm going to double check my technology. And I realize that if you are watching this on YouTube, I want to invite you to, write out your question. If you have any questions for me about anything that I'm saying, I want to invite you to write out your questions about spiritual life coaching. Put it in the chat and I will be happy to answer those questions. And I got some questions from the program that I will be covering during this session as well. Okay, so and if you're in the program and you have questions for me for tomorrow, you can certainly add your questions to the next coaching to the coaching request form, which is in the module there. Okay. All right. So getting started. So these sessions that we're going to do are going to run anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, just depending on how inspired I get by what's going on inside me. I'm a spiritual life coach. That's how it works with me. Okay, I have an agenda. I have my notes all typed out and everything. They look all neat. But Lord knows I'm going to just let Spirit guide this thing. Okay. Now, right. So I want to introduce myself. So I'm Crystal Bell. I'm a spiritual life coach. And I am currently in California visiting my family. And my home is in Florence, Italy. And a lot of people, when I tell them that, they ask me, well, how did you get to Italy? And it was really cute. I have a dog, which I found in Greece 2 years ago. And this dog is really special because, number one, I was called by my soul to go to Greece to find true love, like partnership. That was what the message was on several occasions. Two of Cups. Spirit, using my tarot cards. Spirit, why am I going to Greece? What are you making me go to Greece for? Why do I feel so strongly that I must go to Greece right now? Two of Cups. That means partnership, love, partnership. I thought I was going to meet a beautiful Greek man, and I met a beautiful Greek male dog, and he is wonderful. And we were at the dog park here in California the other day, and there was another couple there, a husband and wife, with their dog. And our dogs were playing so beautifully together. We just let them play for an hour, and we sat there and talked the whole time. And as much as I was trying to learn about them, they were so shocked by the fact that I live in Italy and I have this spiritual life coaching business. And the guy, he's really got an entrepreneurial spirit, and he says, so wait, how do you live in Italy? And how do you travel? Like you've lived where? And what do you do? What's a spiritual life coach? And I'm like, okay. So this is what I want to just tell you about right now. So I started my spiritual life coaching business about 9 years ago. Now, I didn't just go into spiritual life coaching. So let me just back up a little bit further. I'm just going to give you a little bit more history. let's go back to 1992, okay? And I'm going to make this relatively quick. So don't think you're going to get bored because I'm going back 30 years or however many years that was, okay? I'm not going back. It's not going to be that long. But back in 1992, a friend of mine, oh, I was doing a play. I was living in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, no less, and I was working as an actress. I was called again. Oh my God, I got a calling to become, to go and audition for a theater troupe called the Open Fist Theater. Okay. So, boom, I go audition and they take me on, even though I'm a crap actress. Okay. Have no idea of how to act. I'm horrible, but they take me on anyway. But I love it because I'm there with theater and I'm working the lights because I can't act for shit. Okay. And I'm there working the lights. And a woman comes to work with the troupe and she wants to produce a play. They need a Black woman. The woman must be Black. And I'm the only Black woman in the troupe. Okay. So, boom, my first acting gig came by way of spirit saying, you need to show up here because you need something from this. So I go and I do the thing. And actually, my acting wasn't so bad. I actually got a nice write up in the LA Weekly. I was called charming and something else. It was interesting, actually, but I managed to pull it off, right? That's not the important part. The thing that's important is that when I was doing the play, the role that I had was for a priestess, um, a priestess in New Orleans who reads tarot cards and uses them to connect to her deceased lover. Okay, now put all that play aside. The thing that's important is that all of a sudden I have this gig and they're like, hey, you need to learn how to read tarot cards. I'm like, what are tarot cards? And I go out to this store called, it was called the Bodhi Tree Bookstore. It was in Los Angeles on Melrose, I think. Anyway, I go to the Bodhi Tree, go in there, look at these tarot cards, get a book, and the director of the play is teaching me, and I learn how to read tarot cards. From that day on, I have used tarot cards every single day of my life. I swear by them. They are the most wonderful gift from God, a way to communicate with my spirit, to get clarity in my mind. Boom, awesome. Okay. So that was how my connection with spirit started to go from being typical Christian because I was raised Christian. But then when I turned 18, I started getting into Buddhism and Buddhist chanting. Then in 1992, I turned 22, and that's when I started getting into this kind of woo-woo thing, like working with tarot cards and lighting candles and just doing lots of explorations of spiritual things. So that's how my relationship with spirituality ran. Christianity, um, loved going to church, loved going to church and speaking in tongues, connecting with God, like feeling, having an experience of God that was unique to me when I could feel God in my body and my mind and my spirit, feeling truly at one with God. That was really, really powerful for me. So that was what I grew up with in church, people in the aisles speaking tongues and, raising their hands, hallelujah, tears running down their face, letting the choir sing to us. I still love that. That is still something that is really so wonderful for me, which is why, as a spiritual life coach, I say you can totally do it all, right? It's not about excluding one thing, like you can only do one thing. Spiritual life coaching is about like unconditional love, embracing the all. But of course, if you prefer to be something that's more about Christianity, you can bring these practices that I would teach you in my longer program. You could bring those practices to anyone, right? It's about learning. Spiritual life coaching is about determining what your own unique philosophy is, bringing it to formalization, right? You can't just have a philosophy that's in your mind. You need to share it. So you share it through videos and blogging and writing a book and creating all sorts of ways to help people understand what your spiritual philosophy is. And if you want to base it in Christianity, or you want to base it in Hinduism or Islamic or Islam, you can totally do that. It's entirely up to you. You have to be the one that's accountable to being true to your spiritual philosophy. Anyway, so for me, I was extremely spiritual and extremely connected to my relationship with source energy and all that. The problem was that my family was not quite so into it. Now, my mom was. My mom was into astrology, and she was very open-minded when it came down to religion. And her husband, right, was also, who raised me, by the way, my stepdad was also very much into the esoteric things. So when I was talking spiritual concepts, my mom and my stepdad did not bat an eye. They never thought that my spiritual beliefs were strange. However, my grandmother, with whom I was also very close, I'm here in California today because to visit my grandmother, who's now almost 90 years old. Okay. I love my grandmother. That's why I'm here. And my grandmother is Christian, like Methodist, Southern, born in 1925, Christian. That's Christian. Okay. And this kind of thing to her was absolutely the work of the devil, because it was just not okay. Okay, according to her beliefs and her experience, it was not going to be okay. So that was the kind of opposition I had to come up against. Yes, I had to work with my parents' support, but the rest of my family was kind of like, what are you doing? And not to mention the community where I lived, and all this kind of thing was really strange. So let's fast forward to the year 2002. No, yes, 2002. I have a feeling, again, a calling, a very strong feeling to become a massage therapist. Now, in my head, what happens is I literally wake up one day and I'm like, oh, I want to go to school full time. It would be great if I were a massage therapist. Then I could work part time in a spa and then go to school full time. Okay. That was the thought that I had in my head. So I set out to do that. And instantly, this is how you know that you are following a divine calling, because I get that idea in my head. The next day, I go searching for a massage school. I just so happen to find a massage school that's really perfect. Great feeling, great vibe, great teachers, great students, feeling connected. And they started like the next week, like instantly, boom, I'm in massage school and I'm in a great program. I learned so much there. It was a really excellent fit. But see, this is what happens when you follow your divine life purpose, right? When you answer your soul's calling, everything falls into place. So I become a massage therapist. So this is 2002. Now, I'm thinking that, so I studied there for a year, right? Did an internship, did like hundreds of massages, did an internship, boom. I think I'm going to go work for a spa. But then I look at the pay rates for a massage therapist and I'm like, wait, why am I going to go work for a spa when I can open up my own place? So I don't have the resources to open my own studio, but I have a car and I have a massage table. So I get that massage, take that massage table, which is portable. I put together a massage like kit that goes along with it. I've got towels, sheets, um, oil aromatherapy. I've got my music, and I make myself some business cards. Like I go to Staples, I make some business cards. Boom, I start like showing up at networking meetings. Hey, I'm a massage therapist. I'll come to your home and I'll do massage therapy. boom, I got myself a massage business and I'm making thousands of dollars a month because I'm following my divine life purpose. Now, the problem is that I said that I was going to do massage therapy part-time while I go to school full-time. That did not happen. I could not figure out how to go to school part-time and work full-time. I could only do one or the other. That's my nature. I can't multitask. I can do one thing, okay? One thing at a time. Okay, boom, that's my flaw, but whatever. So anyway, now let's jump ahead. So I'm now a massage therapist working out of her, taking her table and her wheel, her bag on wheels to everybody's house. I've got the massage um, thing slung over my arm and I'm showing up, boom, and I'm dragging this around, boom, boom, boom. Okay, boy, okay. So that was really successful, working for me. I get another calling. Boom, the calling says, get out of LA. You are going to live in Paris. Okay. So I'm like, wait, all right. So I'm not doing massage in Paris. I'm going to school full time. I'm going to go to school in Paris, finish up my degree, my bachelor's degree. I'm going to go to this American university, right? Again, it's a calling because you can feel it and then everything starts working for you very, very easily. So that's what I did. I go and I do this interview. Oh, yeah. Okay, not going to go into too much detail. Sorry, I am going to keep this moving along. So I get this calling to move to Paris. So that's what I do. I go to school in Paris for 2 years, finish up my degree. I was there for 2.5 years. Finish up my bachelor's degree, and then I'm like, go home. I get a calling to go home. So I went home, and then I have a calling to open up a massage studio. I go and I figure out, living my life, trying to figure out how to do this massage studio. Go to the small business development center because I've never opened a brick and mortar business. It's one thing to have a massage table, and your bag of stuff. That's your overhead. Overheads are running hundreds of dollars a month. Having a studio with employees, that's going to be a different ballgame. The overhead for my massage studio was a minimum of $12,000 a month. That's a lot of massages to have to do, a lot of facials, a lot of product to have to sell, right? But I'm not worried because Spirit is guiding me through all of this. I'm just going to listen. Spirit says, go to the Small Business Development Center. They got counselors there. They're going to answer your questions. They're going to tell you where you're doing stuff wrong. That's where I learned how to get help. Okay. And that's where I went in there with all my business ideas and they would look at things and scrutinize and they'd look at the numbers. That doesn't work. That doesn't compute. That doesn't add up. You got to make this happen and that happen. I'd be like, okay, then I go back and rework the numbers, right? This is what it takes in order to have a business, right? So I opened that massage business. It's doing beautifully. It's not just massage. I have 13 people working for me. We're doing massages and facials and waxing and Reiki, and we're teaching meditation. We're doing all this stuff. And I'm feeling really great, right? Now, here's the thing. I started off, well, actually, I'll come back to that in a little bit. But I'm doing all this work, creating this thing, and then I get another calling. I look at some clients that are coming to me because I have people that are regular to me. They're coming to me every single, um, they're coming to me, some of my clients are coming to me every week because they're just really benefiting from the time that we spend together. They're getting touched, they're feeling great. Some people are coming every 2 weeks, some people are coming once a month, but I have regular clientele that are coming. And so I'm doing anywhere from, 18 to 25 massages a week. That's a lot of massages. Okay, that's just me. And then I have my staff and they're doing all their services. That's a lot of services, right? I alone did more than 1,000 massages every single year. I had that business for 5 years. So I start getting this feeling as I'm watching my people keep coming into me. They keep coming in to get massage, and there's something that's missing. What's missing? What's missing is they're coming in to get a service from me, but they're not doing anything to change their lives outside, and they're not doing anything to change their lives inside. So I decide in that moment, I'm like, wait, I don't want to just work with people in the outside stuff. I want to be the person who helps them change inside. I don't want to give you a massage that feels great and, you're relaxed for 3 days, and then, you know, um, you come back next month for your next massage and everything's deteriorated. No, I want change. I want you to change, because you being mad at this and mad at that and not getting satisfaction in your life, I don't want to have to massage that out of you. I want to give you change. Right. So this is my own natural growth and development. That's when I decided to become a spiritual life coach. And that is what launched me to being where I am today. All right. Phew. That was a lot of talking. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. So I actually have an agenda. That was the introduction. Oh my God, I feel like I should give you a break. Um, all right. I'm going to just keep on rolling here. I'm going to keep on rolling here, and I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to just keep on rolling. I'm going to just make my way through my agenda and not worry about it. This is intense. I'm talking a lot. All right, here we go. So going back to my agenda. Um, right. So I want to just talk to you a little bit right now, because if you're seriously thinking about becoming a spiritual life coach, um, you're making a big decision. And I know that there are a lot of people who make decisions and then back out of them. I want you to come to the decision of being a spiritual life coach in whatever way you want to, but I'm going to suggest that you come to being a spiritual life coach having really thought through the process and confronted all the hard stuff. So what I want to do is talk to you a little bit about the opposition to you being a spiritual life coach. Okay. Now, these are things that I came up against in my work and, in my process, and also things that my clients have come up against, my students have come up against as they've made the decision to be spiritual life coaches. And I think it's really important to honor um, the things that are opposing the thing that you want to do. Because if you have resistance and doubt inside you, like especially if it's hidden resistance or hidden doubt that you aren't aware of, it's subconscious, you won't be able to move forward with confidence. You won't be able to think. Your body will shut down, your mind will shut down, things won't go your way, and you'll be struggling. I don't want you to have to go through that. So I'm going to do the hard work right now and talk to you about the things that are hard about being a spiritual life coach, or the things that the opposition you'll have as you're coming to the decision of being a spiritual life coach. So I'm going to read you some of the quotes that I have from people and from myself, but these are mostly from other people. Um, Peer and family pressure. So the first issue is having um, your family and your friends don't your family and friends don't get it. They don't understand what you're doing. They don't know what this is. They aren't following that. They aren't into woo woo. They aren't into spirituality. They have their religious thing or whatever, or they just don't get it. They're just trying to have a regular job. They think you should just have a regular job. They want you to have a regular paycheck. They don't understand why you're choosing to do something that feels foreign to them. Okay. They don't know you. They don't know what's inside you. They don't understand the feeling that you're having, right? So this is one of the things that a lot of people come up against. So this is a quote from one of my one of my students. The people around me think I should be doing something else. They don't understand what I want to do. This is not what I went to school for originally, and it feels like a sudden drastic change. I don't feel like I can talk to them about this stuff. I almost feel like I have to keep it a secret. This is really significant because this is, in order for you to move forward, um, you want to feel like you have support. You need support. And so this is a challenge and something you're going to have to confront, and you're going to need a strategy to deal with these troubles, this kind of pressure. And then, of course, there is the cultural and religious pressures. I am very blessed to work with people from different religions and different people around the world, right? So I have a few clients in the Philippines and in the Middle East. And in the Philippines, my clients are mostly Catholic. In the Middle East, it's mostly Islam. And then, of course, here in the United States, it's mostly Christian. Most of my clients or students and clients are coming from a Christian background. And this particular, sorry, that's my alarm going off. This particular quote is coming from someone who was raised Christian. And she says, I was raised Christian and I'm not allowed to explore spirituality in a different way. Sometimes talk of new spiritual approaches feels scary or even evil. I don't want to offend God or Jesus. Very important to understand that. And I totally can relate. I totally can relate. Another another thing that you have to confront is your own negative self-talk. My quote here is, I just don't feel like anybody will want to listen to me. How do I know that what I have to say is going to be valuable to anybody? My story isn't special to anybody but me. So here's what I say to that. That is a very, very valid point. People may not want to listen to you. I don't want to invalidate you, right? Because I don't believe in invalidating people. I don't want to say to you, oh yeah, people will want to listen to you. I don't know if people are going to want to listen to you, you know? Um, I don't know if what you have to say is valuable to anybody. I don't know. But I do know this. What you don't know, you can learn. And if you feel like you're being called by spirit into spiritual life coaching, then maybe instead of asserting your agenda, maybe you should get more in touch with your spirit's agenda and see what it is that spirit wants you to offer. So sometimes, you know, we get caught up with our ego, and our ego has its own story. So our ego is saying, I want to talk about this, but then ego is also saying, yeah, but you're not good enough to talk about that. So your ego kind of messes with you a little bit. It plays you around like you're a puppet. It's like, oh yeah, um, I'm really good at this, but then like, why do you think you're so good at that? Like, why are you talking about how good you are? Like, this kind of weird stuff we do to ourselves, you know? My solution is there are a few things. First of all, if you truly don't have anything worth saying, then you either need to not be trying to say it, or you need to figure out something that's of value and that has meaning to you and say that. Like, why would you choose to focus on something that's not of value? Like, maybe you should listen to what other people need and actually give them what they need instead of just trying to talk about what's not valuable to them. That's one thing. The other thing is, if you have a story like of pain and transformation, that is valuable to us. Okay. Now, if you don't know how to present that story, or you don't know why, or like how, what about that story is interesting, or why it's interesting, you're like, I know this is interesting, but I don't know why, and I don't know how to share it. That's a totally different thing. What you have to do is learn why it's interesting, contemplate it, explore it, and then you have to learn how to share it. I have a certification program that helps people learn how to share themselves. That's exactly what my program is about. So that is what our first, your first step would be, is to learn what your story is, like get it out, and then learn how to share it in a way where it is valuable to people. Okay, but that's an art. It's not something that, you necessarily just know. You have to learn it. That's okay. Go learn it. There's nothing wrong with learning stuff. I like learning stuff. Most people like learning stuff, and you can learn it. Okay, so there's my response to your negative self-talk, if that's the thing that's plaguing you. That goes, of course, along with low self-esteem. Like, I just don't have what it takes to make this work for myself. I would never be able to make enough money to support myself in this kind of work. I need the security of a full-time job. And again, I don't want to invalidate you. Yeah, if you are not willing to sit down and think through a business plan, then no, you don't need to become a spiritual life coach and have your own business. I don't feel there's anything wrong with it. If you feel like you cannot do that and you will not do that, then by golly, don't go into spiritual life coaching, to open up your own business. You can go and be a spiritual life coach and not rely on, not try to make money at it. Okay. Perfectly acceptable. But I feel like if you can actually, if you are willing to actually do the work, I know you'll be successful. I watch people do all sorts of amazing things. And these are not people that are smarter than me or better than me or better educated than I am. These are people who are willing to take the expert advice of another person and to apply it and to stick with it. That's what you need in order to be a spiritual life coach. You need to be able to follow through. You need to be able to stop your own mind from talking you out of stuff, making you fall down because, without even finishing. That's what you would need to do. Because to me, that's the only reason you'd fail is if you didn't actually finish, if you just stopped doing the work. Anyway, yeah, that's my response to low self-esteem. This whole idea of a lack of resources, I don't have money to invest in myself. I've never actually invested in myself before. I barely have any time to invest in myself. I live in survival mode. Okay. Yep, I hear you. I hear you. Um, this is a mentality. All right. And I have to say that it's very difficult to overcome a mentality of lack, okay, because it's something you believe in. You believe in lack, therefore you're going to have an experience of lack. There's not much I'm going to say about that other than lack is not the only option you have, okay? Mentality is yours. That's where you have the power to change your mentality. You have the power to embody whatever mentality you desire. If you are in a lack mentality, it's because you're choosing to be there. Look, this is my spiritual philosophy. You may not agree with it, but that's the truth as I see it. And this is the experience I've had with myself and with the people that I've helped. So if that's your mentality, that's yours. You have the right to it. And I know that sometimes when people have a lack mentality, there's nothing you can do to take them out of that. I'm not even going to try, but I'm just going to say that's your mentality. And that mentality is meant to be overcome. You can overcome it later or you can overcome it now. All right. All right. Limiting beliefs. Every time I try to move closer to my goals, voices in my head confuse me and distract me, so I get off track. It's hard for me to see myself as unlimited and powerful. I feel like I'm in a prison of circumstances, and ultimately, something inside me feels unworthy of success, like I haven't earned it. Yeah, limiting beliefs are really, really hard. Your beliefs, what you believe is what manifests. So when you have limiting beliefs, you're basically actualizing what you believe. So, of course, I have solutions for that. You have to work with those beliefs and um, break through the limitation. Okay. You want to break through those old beliefs and very lovingly surrender those beliefs, give them up. And then you have to lovingly integrate new beliefs that are more empowering for you. It's a process. It's not as easy as I just said it, but there is a process that is super freaking effective. All right. So, boom. Now, past failures. These are, oh, let's see. Things I've tried and failed at in the past make me feel like I should just stop trying, like maybe I should just give up and stay where I am. Every time I don't succeed at something, my inner critic flares up telling me that I can't follow through. I'm not a winner. Yeah. Look, I have a for me what I've learned having had several businesses is that um, failure usually comes when you didn't see everything that you needed to, okay? Or you didn't finish, you didn't follow through, you didn't hang on. And most importantly, failure usually comes for me when somewhere along the line I've stopped listening to my intuition, right? Now, I have a very special way of looking at failure. First of all, I see failure as a friend. I'm not afraid of failure. Failure is okay. All right. Failure is an opportunity to learn something really fast, really hard, right? And to learn it very deeply. But also, sometimes it's a part of our agenda to fail because failure will take you into a deeper level of human experience. Now, imagine if you failed or you had failed at something or you were failing at something and you came to me as a spiritual life coach to talk about your failure. But I, as a spiritual life coach, had never failed, right? Imagine that you want advice from me, and I am going to talk to you from a place of never having experienced what you have experienced. I much prefer to speak to people about um, when I need help, when I go to teachers, I like to go to teachers who have failed, who have been in pain, who have lost, who have messed things up because I mess up stuff. I've lost a lot. And I've spoken to people who either truly have not lost or are in denial about what they've lost, right? And what they usually do is separate themselves from me. And they talk to me in a way that I don't that shows me that they don't understand my perspective. And that makes me feel very alienated and very alone. So what I'm trying to say is that um, failure brings compassion, tremendous compassion, as well as the ability to see solutions for people. And as a spiritual life coach, all of those losses and failings that you've had are really going to help you help other people. And I think that's really, really valuable. And this last one that I want to address is a mindset limited by perfection. I'm not perfect, so how can I help others when I'm still making mistakes and learning lessons? Well, the fact is, you're going to be making mistakes and learning lessons all of your life if you live your life with passion and you like to reach out and try new things. Okay. If you want to live life and experience life and, grow, you're going to have to try new things and you're not going to do things perfectly all the time, if ever. So I don't believe that life is about you being perfect. I think life is about you having experiences and bringing your whole self to the experience without judgment. That's powerful. All right. So these are all the things that you have to deal with in order to make the decision to be a spiritual life coach. So I really want to wrap things up and leave it at that right now. I feel like this is going to be the right way to do this because I feel like that's a lot for you to think about. And that seems like enough. Okay. Now, there was one question that came in from the coaching form, and it comes from a gentleman named Joel, and he writes, "Hello, I've been doing energy work since 2005 and feel like I have a lot to offer the world." Sorry, I'm reading into this and I'm feeling into this as well. So give me just a moment here. I've been doing energy work since 2005 and feel like I have a lot to offer the world. In the past week, I've had some major life-changing transformations and come to the conclusion that I could help other people who are experiencing a similar shift in consciousness. Joel, I feel what you were talking about so freaking strongly. I don't know what like specific transformations are coming through for you, but this last week has been so mind-blowing. The last week has been mind blowing. So I'm right there with you. I love this. So he says, while my life has been pretty amazing, I've also grown accustomed to not having a lot of money. Is it true I can actually get paid for this? Yes. So, Joel, the answer to your question is the answer to the question, can I actually get paid for helping people um, transform or helping people with a shift in consciousness? Yes, the answer is yes. But I'm having something else that's coming through as I'm answering this question for you. And so I just want to look at this a little. I want to approach this appropriately. I've grown accustomed to not having a lot of money. Joel, if you are willing to break the mold of your old self and to get out of your comfort zone of living with no money or having not a lot of money, then yes, you can get paid as a spiritual life coach. All the money that you could possibly desire to manifest whatever your soul wants you to manifest. So let me talk to you a little bit, you all a little bit about making money as a spiritual life coach. Um, Not everyone feels good about relating spirituality and money. We have been taught that spirituality and money don't go together. First of all, we've been taught that money is the root of all evil and that money is the problem. That's a lie. It's not the root of all evil. Money is simply currency, a medium of exchange. Disconnection from source is the root of all evil. Now, making money as a spiritual life coach. First of all, your money starts inside of you. What you experience financially is a reflection of what's going on with you inside your mind, your body, your emotions, and your energy. I strongly believe that, and I talked about this a little earlier with that lack mindset, that, in order to be a spiritual life coach, you have to overcome that. At least you have to confront it in order to make a really good decision for yourself to be a spiritual life coach. You have to deal with your lack mentality. I understand that money is energy. Money is an outpicturing of your own energy, your mindset, your emotions, and the actions that you take in the three-dimensional world. All those together come to form money. Personally, in my spiritual life coaching business, I really love getting paid. Okay, I've always loved getting paid. If you know anything about numerology, you'll know that the number 8 represents money, power, um, and all the challenges that go along with that. I am an 8 through and through. Okay, love money, love power. So I also love people, and I also have in my past had real difficulties making money, real challenges making money. My thing was every time I'd get money, it'd instantly be gone. I'd get money and then lose money, get money, lose money, right? Have it, leaving it, have it, leaving, have it, leaving, right? Now, interestingly, the moon waxes and wanes, waxes and wanes. When I got into my spiritual practice, what I learned was that my money was like the moon. It waxed and it waned, right? So when the moon was changing, so was my money. Okay, why was that happening? I had to do deep work inside myself to understand my relationship with money. And then once I figured out what my relationship with money and energy was, then it changed everything. All of a sudden, I went from making, well, over the course of my lifetime, even if I look at myself as a spiritual life coach, right? I struggled in the beginning as a spiritual life coach. And that's why I created the program that I created. So, because I didn't want other spiritual life coaches to struggle with making money because they were ignorant to how to make money, because, you can't feel like you can make money. So in my program is designed to help you start making money right away. But here's the thing, for myself today, even though I'm a six-figure life coach, and even though my goal for this year in my coaching business is to earn $500,000, $499,000 is the number that Spirit gave me this year. That was a mind-blowing number. That's not where I was expecting. I thought 250,000, ready to hit that, right? No problem. But no, Spirit's like $499,000. It's pushed me out of my comfort zone. I like big numbers, but you know what else? I like helping people who were like me, who don't have money to pay me. So how is it that I can like having a whole bunch of money and want to serve people who are struggling to make money? Well, tune into Spirit and Spirit will give you the answer. So the way I've structured my business is I have a um, a slew of services that I offer that range from $0, $0, up to hundreds of dollars, up to thousands of dollars, up to tens of thousands of dollars. And you know what? It feels perfect for me. It feels perfect. When people want that big ticket item, they're going to get the big ticket item and they're going to pay, they're going to invest the money for that big ticket item. The people who want that big ticket item and cannot afford to invest that much money, or they don't have that much money to invest, are not getting that big ticket item. They're not, because they are in the I don't have that to invest mindset, consciousness. So they're not a vibrational match to that program. This is not about guilt or shame. It's just about being where you are right now. You're not a vibrational match. It's not that that program's too good for you. Nope. It's that you're not a vibrational match to that program. It's just about vibrations. And spirit doesn't have judgment like this is good, this is bad. That's stupid, right? If you're a vibrational match to that program, then spirit is going to guide you there and give you the money for it or give you the way to get it. Okay? So it works out perfectly because that program is filled with people who are a vibrational match to that program. And if you want to become a vibrational match to that program, guess what? I got all these other programs down here and offerings that will make you a vibrational match. Are you going to do those programs? Because I have everything out there. I've got guided meditations. I've got moon rituals. I've got shadow work classes. I've got live streams. I've got blog posts. I've got downloads. I got all sorts of things. Are you going to do the work to make yourself a vibrational match to it? If you are, then it's no problem. You're going to get there, right? If you're not willing to do it, why would I, as a spiritual life coach, feel guilty because you don't want to do the work to make yourself a vibrational match to a program I've created? I wouldn't, so I don't have to. So this is not the answer to Joel's question, but it's kind of partially the answer, Joel. The answer to your question is yes, you can earn your money. You can earn money helping people transform. The key is going to be for you to understand what it is you want to offer and to whom you want to offer it. And then the answer is going to be for you to create the program, your programs, based on what you want to bring in and what you want to give, right? So for me, understanding that I could actually have a variety of things that I offered that helped this and that is just perfect for me. For me, it's perfect to be able to say that you can start here and work your way up to here. That is perfect for my mentality. So I have zero resistance to talking to people about my programs and at letting them know their investment. Okay. All right. So I think that answers your question. Is there anything else I want to say about money? Oh, there's a little bit more I want to say about money, and I might as well go ahead and do it right now. Your spirit, as a spiritual life coach, and I've actually had people say this to me. I've had people say, I just want to be a spiritual life coach. I don't want to have to deal with business. And in that case, I say, great. There are programs out there that will like train you in spiritual life coaching. And what you can do is work for that company and be one of their spiritual life coaches, right? So it's very different though than what I do, because I train people who want to have independence, who don't want to work for someone else. Um, and I am going to talk a little bit about my program right now, even though I wasn't really planning to, but I think it's important to kind of know, because I'm feeling compelled to share it with you. Like, my coaches, the people who are graduating from my program, people are graduating with their own spiritual philosophy. So they're taking all the things that they've learned, and they're uniting that with what spirit is telling them, and they're putting that into a form that they can share, and that's really, really clear for them, right? So, and they're writing about it, they're building their kind of vehicle for delivering that message. They're creating all of that themselves. They have their websites, they have their program, they have their social media, all laid out, and it's all serving their spiritual philosophy. That is their and so this allows my spiritual life coaches to be totally independent. They're doing their thing, and they don't have to teach my thing. I'm giving them background of my thing, but they're taking it and using it to develop their own thing. So what's happening is they're extremely unique. Even though they're all in the same group, coming from the same teacher, their programs are all vastly different from one another. And it's really beautiful, because it's giving them an opportunity. Like, it lets them see why there is no real competition. Like, all they have to do is focus on their own gift and channeling spirit. And that's what my program is all about. Now, that's all the spiritual stuff, right? That's all the presentation stuff. In the meantime, they have dreams, goals, ambitions. They want to put their kids through college. They want to, they own their home. They want to buy another home. They want to travel the world. They want to, be able to live the lives doing what they want to do, doing art classes in China as they are, doing an art tour around the world, and going to the French Riviera to study cooking or whatever, right? These things are all really, really important, because they're developing the spirit. They're helping God express itself in form in the three-dimensional world. And that is so important, right? That's important to your life. That is your human existence. And this is so significant. Now, in order to do that, you got to make decisions about your money and finances. And it is great to work for someone else, especially if you work for a really good company. Yay, yay. Totally do that. But for me, and for what I'm training people, I'm training you to be independent. So you need a business plan. And in my program, you have to build a website and put together your programs, and you have to think about your time management. You have to think about your overheads. You have to think about, your marketing strategy. You have to know where you're going to get clients. You have to put together your strategy. You have to know how to run ads. You have to know how to generate business. And that's what I'm going to be teaching you. Okay. So I believe that, you can have success in any way that you want to. And yay, it comes to you in whatever way it comes to you. Yay. But for me, being a number 8 numerologically, you need a business plan, and you need to pay attention to it. Making a business plan is not hard. If this were going to be like a corporation like Microsoft or some kind of other, or, Apple, big old corporation, even Walmart, like, oh, how do you guys do that? That's big corporate stuff, right? That's not what we're doing. We're creating a business for you to enjoy here and now. And the opportunity is for you to take your spirit and to create a vehicle for you to express your spirit. And that's what a business is for me as a heart-centered entrepreneur. It's like, this is a way I get to express my true self, you know, developing my spiritual philosophy, doing the artwork on my website and building my website. All that stuff is that's just Crystalline expressing herself, right? And if I get paid for it, which I do, that's even better. All right. So, okay, I think that's it for today, isn't it? That's enough. All right. I'm good. So, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Let me get this Zoom window opened here. And thank you so much for joining me for watching this presentation. I will be back tomorrow, and tomorrow we're going to get into technical stuff. Tomorrow, we're going to actually start doing exercises and things that you're going to actually be doing. I'm going to give you some things to do, let's say, and showing you how to do things. And I'll be uploading forms and things like that into into the curriculum for you to follow as well. All right. So yeah, have a great day, and thanks again for joining me. All right, signing off. Bye for now.